What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host, Tony Scorpio, with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
What up, what up? Another episode. This is episode 160 of the Climb Together podcast, featuring the finals week edition. Hayden, I'm right there with you, bro. Finals has been kicking me this week. I feel like I've, been, massacred. Every single day I have something and I just, on the grind. It's been rough. It's been rough. So, today on the podcast, we've got some CDL stuff to discuss. I'm so actually, you know what? Quick little. I'm so ready for this semester to be over, bro. I have one more day of classes left after today. I have one class left today, and then three classes tomorrow, and then I'm done. And then I've got one presentation and one final after that. And I'm just so ready to get on to summer and get going. Cause I failed last week. I failed my stream streak, which I'm actually kind of sad about. But to be fair,
Yeah.
I made it 15 days. I think I made it more than 15 days. I think I made it 17 days in a row, which for me is, especially in the peak of the semester where I've been, was pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. So I kind of proved to myself that I can stream more than I anticipated. So once the semester's over, well, once classes end, and after this weekend, I'm gonna get back into the swing of streaming again. Maybe not every single day, but fairly consistently to where I'm doing it almost every single day, but also producing content. So I'm gonna become a day streamer again, and then be a parent at night because it's easier to stream when my sisters aren't home because they need things. But yeah, so that's a cute little update for me. Anyway, yeah,
Need things.
yeah. So CDL Deception, take the lead here. Do you want me to pull up? Actually, do you want me to pull up CDL Intel stuff quick for you? We can just
We
go.
had we had a pretty interesting weekend back from the minor event. It was probably, I don't know, I will never understand the way that they do the weekend structures because there are more. This is not the first time this has happened. This was probably one of the worst times for weekend structure, but it seems like there's always a week where at some point um where you'll have one day that's basically just throwaway matches unless there's some miraculous upset where it's just well, this is gonna go exactly how we think it's gonna go, but then they fill one day up with bangers and then the next day is just throwaway matches, and that's kind of what we got. um
Yeah, I mean, day one was pretty heavy. It was Optic Bree. It was Optic Elite Thieves and Phase role playing. Hold on,
and
let me pull up.
well, I mean, it was I don't know. I know that the CDL schedules their stuff out way in advance. They've started doing it. They've started doing it like the NBA and the NFL do, where it's like they schedule the entire season before the season even starts, and whatever happens basically. Um, but yeah, these matches were just they were just cut and dry. It was just you know what's probably going to happen. I mean, we're looking at two of the bottom three teams in the league playing against two of the top three teams in the league.
It's true. That's true. It's just
Um,
I don't know. I feel like these things are more easily predictable, but also at the same time, it's kind of hard when the league is so like flopped. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like when the league is so top heavy.
yeah.
Um.
Um, yeah. I mean that is a problem. I think it was by far at its worst in MW3. MW3 it was insane. like
Yeah.
the discrepancy between the top four and everybody else.
It literally was just the top four.
I
There was
would
no
say
contenders from anything else.
right now it's more like Optic and FaZe versus everybody else, because even though Thieves played Cloud9 and that was an easy dub for them, Thieves and Gentlemates still seem to be kind of vulnerable to every other team. Optic and FaZe are just near guaranteed winning against everybody. so,
Yeah.
um, but I mean, the first match of the day. Of course, we always have to do the classic. We're gonna start out with Optic playing first. That's what we like doing for the viewership. Um, they played against Boston, um, and it was pretty straightforward. I mean, they beat them 3-1. Dashy played really well. Um, Everybody seemed to be clicking.
Mhm.
It seemed to be working just fine, which doesn't really surprise me. This team, out of every team that I've like seen since the dynasty, this team seems to be the best at just if they have like a if they have a bad loss or they fall short at an event, they are just so good at just like shrugging it off and going to the next thing. Um, they don't seem to hold all that stuff behind them. And especially since this team has started to face a little bit of adversity, because you got to remember this team started by basically just winning everything. Like they really weren't. Nobody was really like close to them at the end of BO6. Um, so going into BO7 and like now they're not quite where they were in BO6. They've started to be like, okay, we're not winning anymore, so like we gotta really like uh, we got to really focus on like other things except just dominating everybody. Um, and they've done a really good job of like, oh, we like they placed like top four, uh, at at the minor event, and like
Mhm.
in previous optic teams, you'd be like, okay, I'm a little scared for the rest of this qualifier. Like, are they gonna? Is this just gonna be held over their heads the entire qualifier, and they're gonna be like not doing that well? Nah, they're cruising. Like they don't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's one of the scary things about this team is they don't seem to let the losses get to them. So you still have to fully worry about them even after they've lost.
100%.
Um, but yeah, they handled Breach pretty well. Not as well as Thieves handled Cloud9. That was an absolute beatdown.
Hold on, I'm scrolling.
Thieves
I mean, 3-0,
Thieves
that's
absolutely destroyed
bro,
Cloud9. Like it
that hat is
was
wild. That hat is wild on that
this
image.
series wasn't the craziest series in terms of like an absolute beatdown on the weekend, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. They yeah, it was funny because they put this I think they photoshopped this onto Hydra's head, but Scrap was actually wearing a propeller hat in that series.
Oh my god.
He actually was. It was kind of funny. Um, and he was going crazy. I mean, this was just what you expected, to be honest, out of Thieves. Like beating a team like Cloud9 is not impressive in the slightest. It's just how can you make it fun? And they definitely seem to make it fun.
I mean, it's just like it's so sad to see like these teams just get obliterated in this way. I mean, the only closest match of these three was FaZe versus Royal Ravens, which you wouldn't expect because
This
Royal
was
Ravens
kind
has
of
just been
surprising.
like,
Like if we would have if this would have happened in the first, if this would have happened like right after Major 1, I would have been like, okay, Ravens still look pretty good. Like they definitely can still hold their own with these top teams. But this was actually quite surprising considering Ravens have fallen off quite a bit. Um, they have fallen off a surprising amount for how hot they started this season. And them doing this to FaZe and like very nearly uh, winning the series was kind of insane. I mean, it came down to game 5, round 11. That's how close it was.
yeah,
Um,
that is really close.
it was very yeah, it almost looked bad for FaZe. But it almost looked bad for FaZe. But uh, there are better times ahead, I think, for FaZe, especially this weekend.
Mhm.
Um, but it was definitely like this was an eye opener because like I thought for sure this was probably gonna be like uh, I thought for sure this was like, oh, this is gonna be an easy dub, like no problem. But yeah, this is the only thing about FaZe. It's like
They're just
I know
very
these are only league
inconsistent.
matches and it doesn't really matter, but like FaZe have been kind of vulnerable to like very nearly losing to these teams. Like they still pick up the dubs, but it looks scary. Like if you're a FaZe fan and you're playing like one of the bottom like 4 or 5 teams, you're just biting your nails the whole series. Like
It's just I don't know. FaZe is like one of those teams. It's like they are good, but they're like sometimes they have like they have an off day. Like FaZe is one of those teams where like the underdog could beat them on a good day. Like FaZe just has to have an off day and then they're cooked. Unlike but and it's like it could be a bottom team. It could be, you know.
yeah, I mean, well, and this is kind of like it's kind of like that's kind of why BO7 is like a little bit more competitive is these bottom teams, while they do seem to consistently not be that good, they can produce some pretty good games sometimes.
Mhm.
And I mean, especially like one of the things that I thought was like the highlight of game one. It didn't happen in the FaZe Ravens series, but um, one kind of insane thing that happened in this first day's matches was when Thieves played Cloud9, and obviously Thieves 3-0'd Cloud9, but Cloud9 actually made the overload a little close, and they actually went into overtime. And Cloud9 got a super fast cap, like Cloud9 capped in 35 seconds, and you're just like, well, how did Thieves 3-0 them then? Like, how are you supposed to get a cap faster in 35 seconds? Thieves capped in 21 seconds. Thieves just straight up bum rushed them up the map and just killed them all and capped in 20
That's funny.
seconds.
But yeah, so going into Saturday,
Day
Royal
2 is where we get the
Ravens
bangers.
Royal Ravens won a match. Was it against Cloud9? Yes, but they still won a match, and that is important to note and to remember and to praise, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta. When you're these bottom teams, you kind of just take what you can get. Like any of like the top teams beating a team like Cloud9, you're like, okay, normal day at the office. But like a team like Ravens beating Cloud9, it's like, okay, let's try to use this as some sort of momentum and let's try to like get something from this. Um, and I don't know how much this is gonna help Ravens, but for the first time, like for the first time, Craze looked kind of good consistently in a series. You'll see clips of like Craze popping off in a match or having like one map in a series where he's good, but he's seemed to be so inconsistent, even though he's very talented. And he actually like played consistently well this series, which was pretty good for them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's good to see that like he's like making an impact on the roster.
Yeah, I feel like he's improving a little bit.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good
He
to see.
definitely was like one of the guys when I saw that he got put on Ravens, I was like, okay, like this guy, we might have something here.
Might be
And like
cooking.
he's starting to show some improvement. He's starting to get there on the consistency side.
He's cooking. He's cooking. Um, and then I'm scrolling the wrong direction. Then we had Heretics versus FaZe. Heretics beat FaZe. Like Heretics has really been like showing up recently, and this is really cool to see. It's something we're definitely missing from them. Is this
This
level
is
of
the one that I
competition?
said this is probably the match of the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, you
Like
were right. You were right.
this was the one that I was like, we got to watch out for this one.
Mhm.
Like what's gonna happen? And like as you can see, they 100-point clubbed FaZe in game one, and like that kind of set the tone for the whole series. Like I kind of when that happened, I kind of knew like it may be over already, and it definitely was. Um, yeah, Heretics have been absolutely showing up lately. They've been doing fantastic, and then beating FaZe again. Uh, after them beating FaZe again after the minor event, that I really thought like maybe FaZe would give them a run for their money, but
Mhm.
apparently not.
Nope.
Heretics went to business with them, and it's kind of funny though. Like this is not taken away from Heretics at all. I don't think this is any percentage of the reason why FaZe lost. But it was really funny because before this series, Draza tweeted, "If I lose this series, I'll do a giveaway."
Hey.
uh, yeah, and well, Heretics were helping out the FaZe fans on that one.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Now he has to do a giveaway. Damn. And then we had Falcons versus Surge. I mean, Falcons won this one. Surge is really like kind of falling out this season, so sometimes that's how it goes. Moving on to, I think we're still on Saturday. Are we still on Saturday? Yeah, still Saturday. Last match of Saturday. Optic versus Koi, which was a good match. I mean, 3-2. That's pretty close.
Yeah, this one was close.
Dashy
This
with
one was
12.
a little closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, Dashy with the 12k damage. I mean,
Yeah, when you're dropping over 12k in a series, like you're
I mean, Optic had a very good. I mean, it was close. Like even the losses against Toronto, like the losses against Koi were close. I mean, it was 22 out of 50 to 239, and then 5 to 3 in the overload.
Series. This was one of the closer series of the entire weekend in terms of like how close each game was. The big thing though is like I feel like the one weakness Optic has had is their S&D, and them beating Toronto, who are one of the better S&D teams. Them beating them like in both S&Ds to win the series is impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they held Toronto close enough to where Toronto couldn't be like, "Oh, we got this in the bag," even when they lost, and then they just beat them when it counted. It was very, very cool seeing Optic being a little bit better at S&D. Because like I said, that's like one of their only weaknesses. That's like one of the only places they really needed to clean things up a little bit was S&D. And I would say that if they keep on the streak and they start doing better in S&D, like they could be a threat. Could be a threat in Major 3. We'll see.
Okay. Moving on to Saturday now. Yes. 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 Sunday. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I'd get. Sorry, dude. My brain is so fried right now. It's like actually so bad.
Dude, this series was insane. Yeah, it was. Thieves did end up losing a map here, but this series featured probably the worst S&D beatdown of all time.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
3 players on Surge that did not get a single kill.
Fucking Lunars. Lunars is like taking the win here for them. Jesus Christ.
None of the Surge got over 1,000 damage. Which isn't like all that surprising in a loss this bad. But what's really crazy is TJ went very close to not even getting a full kill worth of damage. Didn't even deal 100 damage. And Gwen would have only gotten 1 kill worth of damage if this was MW3. Yeah, this is one of the worst S&D beatdowns I think I've ever seen. I don't know if we've ever seen 3 players drop a donut in the same S&D. I don't know if we've seen that.
I mean 100 like 101 damage, 150 damage. Like come on. Like that's like you don't even have enough damage for 1 kill. Or maybe for 1 kill.
If you look at that damage per round, Lunars averaged more damage per round than TJ did the whole game and almost passed Gwyn in damage per round.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, what is that? Is
Yeah,
atrocious. That is atrocious.
that was such a fast S&D, and like literally like basically nothing happened. Lunars got 2 plants. There were 2 plants that went off, and that's it.
Damn,
Like
that is sad.
other than that, it was just thieves just killing them repeatedly.
That is just sad.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst S&Ds I think I've ever seen.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
That right there is on par with when Ultra played Thieves in Cold War in Hardpoint and beat them like 250 to 14.
Damn.
It's like on par with that.
Damn. Oh my god.
Yeah, but then we had G2 versus Heretics, which is kind of crazy because we've both kind of floated around that these two teams are kind of like the sleeper teams of the league. And surprisingly, G2 handed them a 3-0. I mean, I definitely thought this series would be close, but I didn't expect G2 to 3-0 them. I mean, I was hoping this would be a banger because it's like these two teams I feel like show very good potential to be able to beat anybody. So them playing against each other, I felt like it would be super close.
Yeah.
Not really.
Nope.
Like,
nope.
I mean, Heretics is just like, I wouldn't say that this is looking super bad for Heretics. It's just like y'all got to do something here. Like, we can't have one of the sleeper teams consistently beating the other one. Like, we gotta have some closeness here.
There's got to be some balance in the balance. There's got to be some balance. For sure.
But like, I mean, the thing about G2 though is I feel like they're a lot less consistent than Heretics. Like, yeah, they did 3-0 them, but like they could play Heretics tomorrow and Heretics could 3-0 them.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen. Like,
that's true. You do have a point there.
G2 is very inconsistent. They seem to play very well sometimes, and they do look like they can beat anybody. But like, if I was at this point, if I was going to bet on one of these two teams to win a major when they're looking really good, I would rather take Heretics.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, I don't know, they're just more rounded as a team. I think that's like an issue with a lot of the teams is just they're very inconsistent when it comes to like their ability of how they play. Like they're really just not, they're not consistently good or they're not consistently bad. It's just like you never know what to expect. And it's not like the league is super in depth, like there's a lot of depth and like it's not their fault, it's just like the league no, like these teams are really inconsistent. Like on paper they should not be losing to anything or anyone, or they should not be losing to the teams that they lose to, and then they go and they lose to a team like Ravens or Cloud9 or whatever, and you're sitting there like, what the hell just happened? Which is the part that's the part that's inconsistent. It's like, oh, if you lose to Optic or Thieves or G2 or whatever, it's like, okay, like I understand, like that loss makes sense, but when they lose to these teams that they should not ever be losing to, it's where you go, you know? You're like, this doesn't seem correct.
You know what I would absolutely love to see, though? I would love to see, even though Optic wouldn't be in contention to win this event, I would love to see the top 4 just like somehow collapse all at the same event and we get a G2 Heretics Grand Final.
That would actually be really cool. Honestly, I think that would be that would actually probably make my day. That would be one of the coolest Grand Finals to ever witness in the history of this game.
Imagine the whole season. We're just like, oh, G2 and Heretics are they're the two sleeper teams. They could beat anybody, and then they do beat everybody, but they face off against each other in the grand final.
Like that would be crazy. That would actually be crazy. I want to see it now. You implanted it in my brain, and like now I have to see it. I need it now. Thank you for that, Deception. Appreciate you for that one. Because now I want it.
G2 Heretics Grand Final would be unbelievable.
Oh yeah, but it'd be so
I
good. Though. It
feel
would
like
be
since it's
so
on
good
land
though.
too, it'd be close.
It'd be so good. I know it would be. That's the problem. Oh, now I'm invested, bro. Thank you for that. Oh, well, I'm pulling for that in all my polls, okay? And every single
Dude, both
whatchamacallit.
of the next majors we're gonna be pulling for G2 and Heretics
Yep,
like grand
every time.
finals.
Each time.
We're gonna be trying to manifest it.
Trying. I'm gonna like hire an Etsy witch or something. Be like, all right, I need you. I'm gonna pay you $20. Need you to rock your magic with your sage and your candles. All right. And I'm sorry to Optic for, doing this because, you guys are my ride or die. Like, I love you guys. But at the same time, I'm for the people, okay? I'm for the people. I'm for the content. I'm for the possibility.
We want the entertainment.
We do. And it's nothing against you guys at all. I believe in your ability and your greatness as a team, but I like me an underdog. I like me an underdog. I like me someone that you don't expect to win. I mean, that's why we go for Royal Ravens every season, but I mean, this season this season is kind of out of the question.
If you look at it, it's like G2 almost won minor one,
Mhm.
or Heretics almost won minor one, and then
Mhm.
you look at Minnesota, like back when they were Rocker, they did win the craziest comeback of all time
Yep.
when they came back from down 0-4 against against Ultra. That was like probably that may be um outside of LAG winning with a substitute, that may be the biggest upset
That's going on
that
a
CDL's seen.
top. That's going on a top 5 for on like a YouTube channel somewhere for sure. At the end of the season, 100%. I believe it. I see it. I believe it. I know it.
So
I
I mean,
feel it.
both of these teams are like known to be teams that can make upsets happen. So like, is it possible? Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
it's possible that we could get a Heretics G2 Grand Final. You never know.
Yeah, I think it would be a good. I think it would be a good watch. Both of them they need to be on their A game that day, and even like during the grand final, they need to be on their A game. But I totally,
They need to come to that land prepared.
oh yeah, prepared, ready, and like be like a force to be reckoned with, and just do what they do best. Like just take every good day and like combine it together, and have the best day ever.
Everybody's got to be on it.
Yep. Everybody's got to be on it, which I'm sure they would be in this situation. I'm sure they would be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
So, I'm sure they will be on their game. It's just a matter if they can
and
stay
it would
on
probably
it.
feel really good for them knowing that, like, for each side knowing that their matchup is a team that like they definitely can beat.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if either one of these teams win up against like one of the top 4, or especially FaZe or Optic, they'd be a little bit scared. I feel like,
But I
but
feel
like
like this matchup they'd be like,
these two
"Oh,
teams going against each other, they'd be like, okay, let's see what happens.
they want to be like they want to jinx them, like they want to like psych themselves out of it, you know what I mean? And I think that's a lot of their problem is when they go up against these bigger teams is they psych themselves out of like what they are able to do.
Yeah. I would love to see it. We'll see.
Yeah. I think it's possible. I think it's totally possible. But we shall wait and see. Time is coming soon. Then we had Paris Gentlemates versus Boston Breach. Actually, this was a little bit closer than I thought it was gonna be. Like like when it comes to Boston Breach, like I'm assuming a 3-0 every time. To be honest, like no shade to them,
Breach
but
coming that close probably felt really good for them. Did it actually help them? I don't know, man. Like, I never know what is gonna happen with Breach anymore. So I can't really gather a lot from this series, but it is good that Gentlemates came out with the win because if they lost to Breach, especially in a situation like this where like it could have been it could have been like very close either way, and it's like you guys could have just like turned up a little bit and finished it off, but you didn't. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that would have been a little concerning.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's just like FaZe versus Ravens. A win is a win.
A
You take
win
what you can get.
is a win. Is a win. So that is true. That
It
is true.
was. I feel like it was a good weekend of matches. We
I
had a
think
little
so
bit
too.
of. It was looking to be not quite as interesting as it actually was, and of course the teams provided us some entertainment and made it a little more interesting,
Yeah.
which is always good.
Agreed. Agreed. But alas, that is the way that she blows, I guess. I don't know. That was a Trailer Park Boys references. It's the way of the road, boys. It's the way of the road. But so looking at the standings after, for Major 3, it's looking a lot different than it has in the past. I mean, in previous majors, we've um seen Optic at top. We've seen Optic at the top, and right now they're at third. I mean, they're still at the top, but they're not as at the top as they have been in the past, and that's
Just because of map count, Thieves have been dispatching of every team they played against very quickly, which is
yeah.
definitely helping them.
Oh yeah,
Um,
agreed.
but it's, I mean,
It is looking like something.
also it's, I know that like it's obviously like only 3 or 4 games is the sample size, but it's also absolutely insane that Ravens have won double the maps of G2 and Heretics, but
Yeah,
they are lower in the standings.
it's weird how that
It's just
works.
like it's just Ravens just can't finish a series off.
Nope.
Like
No, they
they just
can't.
get so close.
They can't.
They're winning maps every series, and they're looking like they can do it, and then they just don't get there. Um, and that's like the worst. That's probably the worst feeling to have if you're a team in the CDL is if you truly are like competing with every team, and like if you just had a little bit more, you could be like a top team, but like you just can't finish a series off. That's
No.
what's happening to Ravens right now. Because before you have to get to Surge, who are 8-8, before you find somebody who has as many map wins as the Ravens, which is kind of crazy. Um,
It is crazy.
but that's just kind of how it goes. I would say it's a little early to be predicting like where people are going to finish and
Mhm.
in the standings here for Major 3, but um, I because I definitely think that G2 and Heretics go up. Probably Falcons and Surge go down.
Yeah.
Probably the top 4 kind of switch around a little bit, but um, I mean we're basically halfway through, so teams got to get to work to try to improve if they want to be in that top 8 and get
Oh.
winners.
Yeah. It's doable. It's doable for sure. I don't know, man. It's gonna be they really have to like get their game on.
I also I think it's kind of crazy that Heretics are 1-2 in like the actual qualifier matches,
Yeah, that is weird.
and yet they finished second at at the minor event. Like literally, the only team they've beaten in this qualifier is FaZe
Really?
so far.
That's interesting. That's interesting indeed. Well, hopefully, they can buck up a little bit, but we'll see. Um I know I keep saying a lot of we'll see, but like I said, I'm like mentally drained. My brain is like not. I've got like the same like 5 words that I can say because my brain just can't. I've written like 3 essays in the past 2 days. I've taken 3 tests, given like 2 presentations. My body is failing me rapidly and quickly. And I don't know how much longer I have until before I'm gone. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I have until I'm
Apparently,
gone.
like one more day.
Apparently, what?
Apparently, you said you don't know how much longer you have. Apparently, you have one more day.
Oh, I do have one more day. I can make it one more day. I can do it. Well, one more day until classes are over, and then it's off to the last 2 things that I have to do, which should be pretty easy, honestly. And then moving and all that other jazz, but moving's doable. So
Yeah.
moving's easy for me. I've done it so much in the past few years that like it's like second nature, low key.
Yeah, I haven't had to do that. I haven't moved in like 20 years.
Well, good for you, dog. I cannot say the same. I moved like 17 times in the past like 4 years. So
That's kind of insane.
yeah, well, cause like the thing is like it's like I got kicked out, and then I moved into my grandparents, and then I went to college, and then I moved back from college, but I didn't move back in with my grandparents. I moved in with my ex's family, and then I lived with them, but then I went back to college, and then I came back home, and then I went back to college, and then I came back home, and then I went back. It's just like all that back and forth, and yeah, every single time you had to like move, I had to move like everything.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I'm fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. But yeah. Okay. Did you want to discuss the leakage, the leak stuff that we've the other things? uh
Yeah.
okay. So, according to this post by Charlie Intel, Modern Warfare 4 pre-order info is starting to be added. The Call of Duty app reveal could be coming soon.
Yeah. So there, I mean, obviously, since basically we had that kind of discussion when Modern Warfare 2019 went on sale. We kind of knew that there was a possibility that we'd get some stuff about MW4 soon.
mm,
It was kind of like, okay, we're starting to see some movement out of Infinity Ward. Maybe it's time. Um, and within the last couple days, we've gotten some more stuff. There have been some of the leakers haven't really been saying anything, but they've been kind of like teasing that maybe some MW4 stuff is coming. And then yesterday we got confirmation that the pre-order info's starting to leak. We're starting to see it in the Call of Duty app. I would expect a reveal probably like, I mean, because you look at MW19 and MW2, they were both revealed around like June-ish.
mm-hmm.
I would expect it around then.
Okay.
Because COD seems to always do something around the NBA Finals if they're gonna reveal something that early. And the NBA Finals are always early to mid-June, so we'll
It's
see.
coming up. It's coming up for sure.
We'll see what we get out of them. But one of the big things that has been revealed due to obviously the pre-order details going up is that COD has finally ditched the last gen consoles. This game will only be available on the PS5 Xbox Series S and X, and PC. No PS4 and Xbox One. For the first time since Call of Duty Ghosts in 2013.
That's actually kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that we're finally. I think honestly, like, no matter what this game ends up being and like how it is perceived by people, I definitely still don't have my hopes are not all that high.
No.
But no matter how the game is perceived, it is a big step that they're ditching the last gen consoles because for the last like 3 or 4 years, the last gen consoles have been a serious like detriment to COD development.
Yeah, because
They're
they have
having to
to be
spend
able to
extra
match
resources to be able to get the stuff on the last gen consoles.
and to match
And
the
so
specs
it
and
not only makes it hurts the game in general, but it especially hurts the next gen and PC experience because you're having to compensate for the lower specs and lower power of last gen consoles, which
Mhm.
it's really like it's kind of crazy because me growing up in a time when like I played like PS2 and PS3, when I got to the PS4 and like those consoles, I was like, oh my god, this might be the peak. Like I don't know if we can get better than this. And now we're
we're
far
we're,
past
we're
that.
way better.
Uh, Now we're far past that, and we've seen the last like 3 or 4 years how it affects the last gen consoles because for a little while there wasn't a whole lot of change. Like you look at COD on last gen and like Cold War, Vanguard, MW2. Like those games were fine. No major issues. Obviously, it probably would have been better if they would have went to they would have done current gen only, but last gen wasn't all that bad. We started to see some hiccups in MW3, especially on the Xbox side. People were saying that MW3 on like launch day Xbox Ones was like really bad. Like it was like BO3 on Xbox 360 and BO6 was even worse. BO6 on last gen consoles was like really bad and BO7 is also really bad. Um so I think it was rightfully time for them to do this. I think they should have done it earlier, but I think this was a good time.
I mean, better
Um,
late than
it
never.
was rumored that they were going to be doing last gen consoles for this game, and that maybe next year would be the game where they stopped. But apparently they were developing it on last gen consoles until late last year, and then they shut it down, and they were like, "Nah, we can't do this."
Giving up. Give it up.
I mean, I
Kind of
think
way.
it's going to be a great step. Like I said,
No, yeah, for
regardless of how
sure.
this game is
Jokes aside.
perceived, I think that the future of COD being primarily on these consoles is going to be a lot better.
Mhm.
Because you're going to be able to afford to do a lot more things, get more ambitious with how the game is, and graphically and like the engine, and it's going to be a lot better. I think overall.
I
Uh,
agree with you.
Despite the fact that the games might not be all that good, who knows?
I mean,
Um,
that's the thing is like it's kind of hit or miss because at the same time, like we could have a really good COD, but like the community just rejects it. You know, like that's like the big issue with Call of Duty recently, specifically. Like it could be a great COD, it could be a great game, it could be, everything we've ever asked for, but um, if it's not up to par with what people
Honestly,
expect,
like the closer we get to MW4, and like this is not being the typical like COD person that's like a cynic at first, and then they get close to the game and they're like, I'm gonna buy it anyway. Um, the closer we get to MW4, the more on the fence I feel about it because it's a combination of the fact that we got so many good changes in BO7, and I think that after what has happened the last few years of COD, I don't know if COD will actually let Infinity Ward like send us back down that path again.
maybe not.
Like maybe the game will be more of like an MW19, MW2 type of game, and it may not be for everybody. But as far as like the big overarching changes to COD, I don't know if COD will let Infinity Ward do that again. Um,
I think it would be smart for them to not do that again. It didn't really work well for them the first time. Um,
I don't know, and like I know that obviously like COD. When you look at COD socials, like they're obviously trying to market their game. Like they're not necessarily going to acknowledge people that they're not going to like acknowledge people that hate on the game, or they're not going to kind of be critical of their own game or whatever.
mhm.
But there have been a couple things that have happened on COD socials, and I'm like, okay, hold on, maybe they're trying to like open our eyes and be like just
See the
just wait
way.
till we show the game,
Yes,
because
see the
there
future.
was there's stuff like there was a guy on TikTok that was talking about like how MW4 was the leaks of MW4 sound like it's going to be terrible. And they replied to him and they were like, if you're actually interested in learning about what we're making, then contact us, which is kind of crazy. Like COD never would do that normally.
Mhm.
Um and also like they've been tweeting stuff that it's basically like so yeah, obviously everybody remembers the tweet where Infinity War was like, "Don't believe everything you hear on the internet."
Yeah, we all
It's a
remember that.
that's now a classic COD tweet, but COD has kind of been doing a better job of clearing up rumors and
Mhm.
not being so vague about it and actually being straight up like, "Hey, this is not going to happen." Um, because it's funny because yesterday when we started when the news broke that there was Modern Warfare for uh like pre-order files and stuff on the COD app, the COD Twitter tweeted, not sure where this one started, but it's not true. The next one, the next Call of Duty is not being developed on PS4. So they confirmed that we're not getting last gen consoles.
Mhm.
So it's like they're actually going out of their way to be like, hey, this is not true.
Which I mean is good. I mean it's kind of like what we were hoping and waiting for, and something that they said that they were going to do. So it's good that they're sticking to their word and actually following up.
My thing is, I just hope Infinity Ward follows the same suit. Like, I think it'd be really, I think it'd be a combination of really dumb and really hilarious if
Really dumb and
COD
really
was trying to
hilarious.
set this precedent of being like, "Hey, this is not what you think it is," and then Infinity Ward basically goes out and they just kind of are like, "Yeah, this is exactly what you thought it
Actually,
was." That would be kind of stupid,
that
but
would
like
be funny though a
it
little bit.
also, I kind of really hope that Infinity Ward also runs with that, and we see MW4 and we're all like, oh, it's just gonna be MW19 all over again, and then they're just like, hey, this is not that. This is totally different. And honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to that because I've said it like if we had a game that was like what Treyarch has been putting out lately,
Mhm.
but it was set in like the Modern Warfare franchise, I would think we'd have a good game.
I agree.
Um, I think it'd be good. I like modern CODs. It's just like I don't like how they play.
I mean, because they do
Like,
play kind of weird sometimes, but I mean, I don't know. It's like one of those like perspective things. Like
well, MW3 was great.
if you were to drop someone into this Call of Duty that hasn't played since I don't know, like let's say like early 2010s, like I think they would enjoy the game. Like in all realness, I think
Yeah.
that that's
Well,
a
I mean, that's what people did with MW19. There are countless people that still to this day are like, "Oh, I hadn't played since MW2. I hadn't played since BO1, and I got on MW19 and I loved it."
yeah. So I mean, I think it's all perspective at that point. Uh, we know as Call of Duty crack addict, I guess. I don't know. That's a really bad way of putting it, but as people who love Call of Duty and have been playing it for years consistently, we know what Call of Duty is capable of. We've seen it
Yeah.
at different levels. So, um,
We've seen it at basically everywhere now. I mean,
exactly. We've seen it at different levels and we know what they're capable of. So the fact that they're not meeting those expectations that they have set for themselves in a way, we know that they can do better. And that's why we're so set on them being better. Because we know they can be.
Well, I mean, I do sure hope that Infinity Ward delivers for COD's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Will it
Yep.
fully invest me and get me fully back into playing COD? I don't know.
I don't know what it'll take
Because
for
at this
that.
point, if this game, and I've said it before, if this game is like MW19 and MW2 and it has all the same issues, all the same gameplay design that is not fun, and like, especially if they bring back strict skill-based matchmaking, I'm not playing it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much I've enjoyed COD in the past. If they like start taking us back down that road, I'm not doing it. I've been there once and I did not like it. So I'm not doing it again. So I'm saying it right now. If they do those similar things with MW4 and they don't but they don't improve things, this will be the first COD that I don't play probably since BO2.
Am I saying something? Well, I'm gonna have to call this right there because it is 3 o'clock. I do have to go to class. But
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Come Together podcast. I did kind of like that little rant that Deception kind of went on at the end there. It kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like it gives us a little perspective going into the next few months of what Call of Duty, like the release stage for Call of Duty. You know, this is around that time when they do the releases and announce the game and that kind of stuff and some aspects of it. Until late.
I mean, if we're getting pre-order stuff, I'd be looking for some leaks at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is too is like like the leakers are getting shut down, so we don't really know.
We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go to some of the more like underrated leakers.
Yeah.
All the big ones are basically gone.
Yeah. Cease and desist and stuff like that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Climb Together podcast. I've been your host, Tony Scorpio, with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say bye.
Bye.
If you guys did enjoy this episode of the podcast, make sure you guys do like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and also follow us on Twitch where we stream this live. Big exciting news starting next week. We're actually changing back to our original time. Now that my semester's over, we're going back to 12 p.m. EST on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
The original time of the podcast. And then the uploads will go going later that day. We are so back, baby. We are back. So thank you guys for sticking around with us. Now we're kind of back to the OG time, which feels really cool. So yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.